Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm kind of just gonna talk to you about the struggles of being a child of God and the struggles of trying to follow Jesus. That's really all I'm gonna talk about while I do my diamond painting, because she's really cute and she's coming out cute so far, but I still have a lot to do. So yeah, I think for one, it's just hard because it's so hard finding support systems nowadays. Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, you have like some people that you can talk to about it, but about like growing in your religion and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's so hard for teenagers to find genuine support systems and genuine people that are like, hey, let's grow in Christ together, let's do Bible studies together, let's talk about God together. It's so hard to find that nowadays. And I don't know, I feel like there's opportunities to like find youth and like find e-groups and like stuff like that, but actually sitting down and connecting with someone that is also going on the same spiritual journey as you, I feel like it's just a hard thing to get, I feel like. And it's just hard, in my opinion. Another thing is I feel like we have so much temptation in the world for teens and for us and for people in general. I feel like we just have a lot of temptation. Like, there's a lot of things that are here to tempt us and draw us in the way of the world and not the way of God, that it's so hard for us to continuously go in the way of God because of how many things are like tempting us away from Him, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Like, there's like idolization, addiction to our phones, addictions to other things like vaping and smoking and like all of that. There's so much secular music, and cussing is so normalized, and just all this other stuff. Like, there's so many temptations now that it's so hard to just, give it all up because we've been so used to it. And like, once you feel conviction and you feel convicted from something and then you try to depart from it, it's so hard to actually depart from it and stay departed from it, because it's like so many things trying to reel you back in, and it's just really hard, I think. And another thing too is motivation. For me personally, I kind of struggle with motivation for God, because it's like I'll be on fire for God one day, and then another day it's just like I have zero motivation to read my Bible. I have zero motivation to pray or do anything. And like, it gets so bad because it's like I genuinely just don't have the motivation to just, it's like I'm going through spiritual warfare in a way. And it's just like, and then you start to get disconnected, and then it just continues. Like, sometimes I'll go like weeks on end, or like 2 weeks on end, or 3 weeks, just feeling so disconnected from God and just so departed from Him that it feels so hard to come back into that place I was at. Because it's like one little time that it's like something happens, you immediately just, your like a switch turns off and you're just no longer in the place that you were. And it's just hard to like get back into that place. Like, sometimes I'll go 2 to 3 weeks on end of just not talking to God and not spending like intentional time with God, and it just gets really bad. And it's like and then once you're like, okay, let me get my life right, let me stop playing, it's like you don't know where to pick back up where you left off. And it's like you feel so like spiritually disconnected that like praying feels like you're not actually doing anything. It just feels like you're rambling, you're not actually praying or anything. Like, it just feels like you're just lost. Like, you know how you're swimming, like, you're in the water, but you're not at the surface of the water. It feels like you're just underwater and you're just swimming. That's kind of how it feels. Like, you know that you're there and you know you're trying to pray, but like you just feel stuck underwater. It's like you try to come up for air, but you can't. And it's like you're just stuck in that space and in that unhealthy place that you were already at. And like, I don't know. It's just hard. Because then you have motivations for other things as well. Because it's like, I mainly like made this YouTube channel for me to talk about my relationship with God and like how everything is going and all of that. But then there's also parts of me that's like, I kind of want to do this and I want to kind of do that, but then it takes my focus away from it. And I don't think necessarily doing more than just talking about God on here is a bad thing. It's just your focus changes. And I think when your focus changes from it being solely on God to starting to focus on something else that's not him, that's when it starts to become unhealthy, because then it's like you're putting other things before him, and it's just hard to, like, obviously you know God is supposed to be first in your life, but then you start to put other things before him. Like you put you put playing a game before reading your Bible, or you put like playing a game before praying or something like that. Like you put other things before him that shouldn't be before him, if you get what I'm trying to say. It's just hard. And then thinking about like faithfulness and, you know, actually being the way of the Lord and all of that, it's like, how do I know if I'm truly believing in him? Like, I'm doing all of this and, you know, like being faithful and all of that, but like, how do I know that like he's here with me, if you understand what I'm saying? Like, how do I know that I'm doing everything right? Like, and I know it's the little things that counts. Like, even though I'm sitting here and I could be talking about God or something like that means something, but is it enough? Like, that's not enough to spend eternity with him. Like, how do you get there? How do you get at such a high point in your relationship with God that it's just like you're so connected and like you never break that connection? Like, I see some people that are just like so freaking connected with God and like all of that, and it's like, I don't know, because there's so many things that I need to change in my life, and putting God first is truly one of them. Like, I feel like I am literally addicted to my phone. Not like addicted, but I put my phone first before a lot of things. And I feel like I idolize it because I'm always on my phone. I'm always on electronics, stuff like that. Like, and it's like, I couldn't imagine life without my computer. Like, I use my computer for literally everything. But it's like, can you also imagine your life without God? Without God, I feel like our lives would be crazy. Like, imagine if we were just living and there was no God. Like, imagine if Jesus and God just didn't exist. Our lives would be so crazy, I feel like. I feel like there would be no good in the world at all. Well, we wouldn't even have the world. We wouldn't even be here. For real. Like, we literally would not even be alive right now. So, like, I also find that crazy. It was just one time. It wasn't even the world. Like, we were just in a universe at one point in time. Like, a billion, jillion, quadrillion years ago. But, like, it was one point where we weren't even... There wasn't even an earth. It was just God. He was just here. He was just up there, like, chilling, just... You know, I feel like it was one day he was, I don't want to say he was bored, but I feel like he was kind of bored and was just one day like, let's create an earth. Let's create humans. And then he just went to working. Like, he just started creating stuff. Like, he made the earth, he made day and night, and he made earth and the grass and the ocean and all of that. Where's my Bible at? Pause. it's so beautiful, like how he created everything. Like, it's so beautiful. Like, what do you mean it was one day he just randomly, like, it literally says, okay, Genesis of chapter 1 verse 5, he literally just goes, God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. What do you mean this man just randomly comes up with evening and day and then morning and night? Like, what do you mean he just randomly comes up with day and night out of nowhere, off the top of his head? Like, how do you even come up with that? And then he comes up with waters and land, and then he let the waters under the heavens be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear. And he called the dry land earth, and gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God said it was good. He literally called our earth good. He created this beautiful planet, like this beautiful earth. He just called it earth. Literally, he just called it earth. And then he brought forth grass and herbs and seeds and trees that yields the fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on earth. And then on the third day, what did he do on the third day? I think he made morning on the third day. I don't know what he did on the third day. Then he created animals on the fourth day, I believe. Yeah, he created sea creatures and every living thing that moves. And he blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply and fulfill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply the earth. And he created cattle and all of that. Like, he literally created man in his own image. God created us in his own image. That's crazy. Like, he wanted us to be perfect just like him. Like, he wanted us, like, and so then he created male and female. And he said, be fruitful and multiply. And then he multiplied it and made all of us. And he made Adam, and he made Eve, and he was so good to them, like, so good to them. Like, and it literally says this in Genesis chapter 2, that, let me read it. It's like it was a private moment between just God and woman. That's how much God cares for us girls of Jesus, like us girls of God. That's how much he cares about us. He literally put everyone to sleep. He put Adam to sleep. It was such a private moment. There was no angels, there was no anything. It was literally just him and the woman that he was creating. He took a rib out of Adam and then made that rib into a woman, and said that he's gonna call it woman because she was taken out of a man. It literally says, then the rib which the Lord had taken from the man, he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. And Adam said, this is now my bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Like, it was such a beautiful thing, because Adam and Eve were the very first two humans that God made. And then it was this private, intimate moment. He put everyone to sleep, and it's just beautiful. And then they had this whole entire Garden of Eden, and it was just amazing. And they had every single fruit and thing that they could imagine. And then God told them to not eat from one tree, the tree of knowledge, to not eat from one single tree, and you could have everything else in that beautiful garden. But then you want to listen to old serpent telling you to, oh, go ahead, just eat from it. Yeah, you're sick and twisted for that. It's crazy how they listened to the serpent. Like, they disobeyed God one time, and it was just like God had this beautiful image for us. Like, literally, he had this beautiful thing for us. He had this beautiful garden, and we could eat anything out of it. And then God just told them to be fruitful and multiply. Like, sometimes I low-key be thinking about, like, what if Adam and Eve didn't eat the fruit? Like, I know life wouldn't even be what it's like, But like sometimes I think about what if it didn't eat the fruit, because then we wouldn't have so much of the sin, so much evil, so much disobedience. I feel like if that never happened, then we wouldn't have had so much of that. And then it was just, then they got banished. I don't know if they got banished, but then they got kicked out the garden. Adam and Eve made Cain and Abel, and then evil was created because don't quote me on that. Don't wait. Because somebody killed somebody. Guys, I don't know off the top of my head. Oh, it was Abel who got killed. Okay, so because Cain was jealous of Abel because Abel had all of like the nice sheep and all of that, I think. Don't quote me on this. But had all the nice sheep, and then Cain was jealous, and then Cain killed Abel. And then it's funny because God already knew. Like, girl, he already knew that you went ahead and killed your brother. And then God asks you, he's like, where's Abel? Where's your brother? And then you over here talking about some, shoot, I don't know where Abel is, knowing that you just killed this little boy because you was jealous of him. Crazy. And then I don't even know. Then it just kept going. And I find it crazy that there was a time in, I'm not even doing this diamond painting anymore. I'm literally just yapping. But there was also a time where Jesus was not there. Like, and I feel like when I was younger, I just thought like Jesus was always there. But Jesus did not become, God didn't send for Jesus until like way later on. Like there was a whole entire period of life back then where Jesus was not Jesus. Well, he wasn't Jesus, but he wasn't there physically. You know, it was just one random day God was like, I don't know. But because we all know that Jesus is God in the flesh. Like, you know, like God of man, I guess. But like, I just find it crazy that it was just one day Virgin Mary got chosen, and just like, you're gonna have the son, you're gonna have my son of Jesus, like you're gonna have Jesus. And it was a crazy thing because he sent a, y'all ignore me, I'm over here getting my stuff mixed up talking about the prophet Elijah. Girl, I meant the messenger Gabriel. Ignore me. Elijah like sent Elijah to her dad. I watched this movie about it, that's why I know like how much happened. But then like sent Elijah, one of the biggest like angels, who sends all the really big important messages, and then you send down Elijah. And why did I keep saying it so confidently, like send down Elijah? Like, please, I promise I was thinking Gabriel, I promise. And you tell, like, I think her dad, it was that like Mary's gonna have the child of God or something, and then literally you get pregnant with Jesus the carpenter. And like, I like, it's just like, what type of, like, that's such a huge thing for God to ask of somebody. And like, I'm pretty sure she gave him a, like, he gave her a choice. Like she didn't have to do it, I don't think. Like, I feel like she had a choice whether she could have this child, like have the like son of God, and she chose yes. Like, that's such a huge thing to put on somebody. And then Mary was just so obedient to him. And I just feel like that's so just symbolizing, because what if Mary never said yes to doing that? Then we wouldn't even, like, would God have picked another person? Like, what would have happened at that point? Like, I just find that insane. That is literally crazy. Like, what the heck? Like, God is such a powerful being, and he's able to do literally anything. Like, that's crazy. And then it's like all this power that God has is like he just bestowed it onto Jesus, and then Jesus was just walking around with all these magical powers. Well, not magical, but like all these holy powers, and like people were just mind blown by it, and was just like the blind man, or that the woman that had the blood disease, and everyone was just bullied her and was picking on her for so long, and then one day she was just like, if I touch Jesus, if I get to him and I feel him, then I will be healed. And then literally he healed her. Like Jesus was a healer. He was a provider. He literally, I just read about this in Mark 8, bro. I literally just read about this, that he literally took those loaves of bread and broke it and fed thousands of other people. He had like 7 loaves of bread, broke it, and fed thousands of other people in the village. Like, I just find that insane that he was capable of all of that. Like, he was a provider, he was a healer, like he literally did all of that. And he was a preacher. Like, he spoke out, like and he literally said, like, anyone who takes up this cross and follows me and leaves their life behind to follow me will be blessed with everlasting life. Like, it's mind-blowing how it's like you follow him, and like, I don't know, I just find it crazy. Like, he's like, God is such a powerful and beautiful being. Like, he just does so much, like, and he can do literally anything. Like, what do you mean it was like, bro, like, it was one random Monday afternoon. Monday, it wasn't even afternoon yet. He hadn't even created afternoon, but it was just one random time, I guess, and he was just like, yeah, let's create an earth. Let's make something. Like, not saying that he made us an arts and craft project, but he low-key made us an arts and craft project, because he literally made the whole world on a random day. Like, he just was like, yeah, let's get to it. And then he just started making the world, and he made us and all of that. And then on the Sabbath day he rested, and we just have this like world, and we have the land and seas and plenty of animals, and like, I don't know, I just find it crazy. Like, what do you mean? That is insane. And then another thing too is when Jesus was on the cross and like all of that, I remember I watched The Chosen like a couple months ago, because I was like, I saw it online and I was like, okay, let's watch it, why not? And it's on Netflix, and I was watching it, and I was just like, first of all, Judas, you're sick and twisted, because what do you mean that you was trying to, for 12 silver shillings or whatever, for the gold, whatever you was trying to get out of that? That's insane. These guards or whatever literally was hunting Jesus down in the forest with John and Peter, I believe. You was hunting him down. What? That's insane, Judas. That's crazy. And then he literally knew. He knew. Jesus was over talking about somebody at this table will betray me. Turns to Judas. Like, he knew you. He knew all along. That's something too. Like, God already knows. He already knows. That's crazy. And then you over here sweating bullets and stuff like that. And it is just crazy. Because what do you mean? And then and then when he was getting tortured and all of that, and like when they whipped him, and I actually saw like what they transferred it in the movie as, with that whip with the spikes and stuff on it. I'm like, that is so cruel. Like, imagine getting whipped on your back. Like, are you kidding? And a crown of thorns? You literally have, I physically cannot imagine having a crown of thorns. Like, feel your forehead. Do you know how hard your forehead is? Like, how hard the meat is up there? You're telling me that they stuck a thorn crown inside of his head. Not only that, you have this man carry this heavy cross miles and miles and miles. Then you put railroad nails in his hands. Literally, them big railroad thing hole, nailed them in his hand on the cross. Are you so serious right now? You know how much pain that would be? I'm trying to sit here and imagine, like, oh, and he did all of that for us, which is the crazy part about it. Jesus went through all that suffering, all that torture just for us. He died on the cross for our sins. He literally went through all that pain and all that suffering just for us to have forgiveness whenever we do sin, which is, to be quite honest, freaking crazy, because I know for me personally, I would never, like, not, I don't want to say it like that, but like, in conclusion, I just want to say that that's a huge sacrifice. Like, that's a huge thing to just say, okay, I'm gonna go through all this pain so my future followers will be able to come to me about their sin and be able to make mistakes again and then come back from them. Like, I just find that literally crazy that he would go through so much for us. And like, I don't know, it's just crazy, because me personally, I would never go through that much pain for someone else, you know? And he did that for so many of us to be able to come to him, and you know, and I literally just find it like mind-blowing. Like, I don't know, it's just, and it's crazy. And then he hung on the cross for like, I don't know how long it was. For some reason my head is saying 18 hours, but I feel like that's wrong. But and then he hung on the cross for that long, and just was getting tortured, like, just hanging. And then he also got hung with those two thieves, and then that one thief was like, remember me, Jesus, or something along those lines. And like, I don't know, like, you can literally just give it all to God at the last second and he's gonna provide it for you. Like, he literally gave his life to God right before he died, and then he like still made it to heaven, which is just like, it's honestly mind-blowing. Like, I'm glad I was born in the time that I was born in, but like, imagine being in that time. Like, imagine literally seeing, and it was like, so many people hated him. Like, so many people hated Jesus. So many people like just did such cruel things to him. And like, oh, so then once he, and like, oh my, it's like, it's just mind-blowing, because then he got crucified, and then he got buried, and then literally 3 days later he rose from the dead and walked out of the tomb, and his veil and his thingy like wasn't even folded up or anything. Like, he was like, nope, I'm not finished yet. I'm like, he rose from the dead, he came back, and he was like, no, I'm not finished yet. He arose out of that tomb. Like, he went through all that torture in his mortal self. He went through all that, said, Father, I am ready. He said, God, I'm ready to give up everything for these people so they can have their second chance. And I died on the cross for their sins so I can go back to, so they can come back to me. And then after that, he rose from the dead and said, nope, I got more work to do. I'm not finished yet. Like, and these people literally hated him, bullied him, did such cruel stuff to him. And like, you literally have the embodiment of God standing in front of you. Like, you literally have the God in the flesh standing in front of you, and you're gonna bully this man after he did so many works. So like, that's insane. That's literally crazy. That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy to me. It's really, it's crazy to me. Like, me personally, like, you literally were, like, you're right in front of Jesus Christ himself. Like, And y'all just hated this man, and for what reason? Like, y'all are sick. They were sick. They were sick. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. No, it's literally just insane. But that's kind of all, guys. I don't know. I was just like, I just wanted to kind of talk about, you know, whatever. And I don't know. I kind of got a little sidetracked. I started talking about a whole lot of other stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. But it's fine, though. It's just crazy how God works in, like, such ways. And how it's, like, he's just, I don't know. But, yeah. Okay. I'm done now. Like, subscribe. See you guys later.